So we're going to talk today, guys, about the Roe versus Wade a little bit more, and also this new Al Lanier situation that's come up. I understand that Al Lanier has been talking about possibly on the verge of being homeless, and yeah, I've got some thoughts on that. So I definitely wanted to go ahead and let you guys know what I think. So let's get into it.
This Block Lounge Entertainment, and the time is right with T-Pre.
Grand rising, everybody. I hope everybody is doing as great as me today. I am actually driving this morning. I'm going pretty early to go pick up my one of my college bound kids, one of my HBCU children. She is out for the summer, and so I am going to pick her up. She was going to do the summer studies for the summer, but she decided that she wants to come home for the summer. So I am going to go pick her up and all of her things. So thank God for an Escalade and for other cars, because if it wasn't for that, I don't know how my baby would get all this stuff home. She probably has more stuff down there than anything. So it's crazy. But girls, so anyway, I am on my way to go pick her up, and I figured I'd talk to you guys a little bit about some of the things that's been happening around here. I know that the Al Lanier situation has been crazy. And also, there's been quite a bit of chatter around YouTube and other places about the Roe versus Wade situation. And I'd like to say, to start off with that, by saying that I don't think that Roe versus Wade is in fact a distraction. Okay. I think that there has been other distractions, such as the Johnny Depp situation, the other situations going on with various rappers and all kinds of stuff, music coming out, the Meg the Stallion situation and all kinds of stuff. I believe those have in fact been distractions. Okay. And those are distractions from some of the justices, the Supreme Court justices that have been added to the Supreme Court recently, one of them being this black woman, okay? And I think a lot of this has to do with why the justices came to the opinion that they did. It was strategic. Biden made sure that it was strategic, and now here we are. So when we talk about distractions, we got to talk about real things that have actually distracted us, that would distract us from situations that actually cause us harm. Women's rights, women's health is not a distraction. That is something we need to be discussing, something we need to be opening up, and something we need to be talking about. It's just as important as the vaccination. It's just as important as any other life-threatening situation going on with us as people. And yeah, I really think it's important that we are having these discussions, because, there has been this tendency, and what I've seen is not a lot of women saying this, but I've seen a lot of men, and it's in different demographics. It's not just white men or just black men or anything like that. Excuse me, but it's various demographics of what seems to be men that have very strong opinions about this Roe versus Wade story and the Roe versus Wade situation. A lot of them tend to believe that women are only getting abortions for, quote unquote, according to the quote unquote CDC, which, by the way, their statistics are always rigged to be whatever they want it to be. But, when they say that there's only 1% of women who experience sexual abuse, and this is the reason why only 1% of those women are getting abortions, I have to bring that up, because first of all, only 1%, and I don't even know if I can put a percentage number on this, but there are more people who don't report abuse than people who do report abuse, okay? So we got to keep that in mind when we're talking about these percentages that the CDC likes to put out about how many people are getting abortions and so forth and so on, and the reasons behind it, okay? Because just because a woman walks into an abortion clinic, I want to say this, just because a woman walks into an abortion clinic, okay, and has an abortion, and she even may give a reason for why she's having that abortion, that might not really be the actual reason, okay? Again, she may not want to tell you that something sexually happened to her. She may not want to open up about it because of how she's going to be scrutinized if she does. She may have to now go to the police, or she may be afraid that she has to go to the police. Like, these are real situations that women actually face, okay? And so when you talk about these 1%, and and it's men doing this, so by the way. So when you're talking about these 1% and these percentages of women who actually, have abortion, like I said, these women, you don't know the real reason why this is happening. But I needed to be open about why women are having abortions, okay? And it's not just Boomquisha who doesn't like the baby daddy and decides that she's going to have an abortion. Because this is another thing that men think. They believe that, this abortion thing is some kind of privilege of a woman. When in actuality, let's think about it, okay? Do you want Boomquisha to have your baby and then turn your baby over to you? Well, what's going to happen to your baby 18 years from now when Boomquisha is not in his life and when Boomquisha is not there for her child? Do you think that because you as a father can raise this child, which I agree, I think fathers can absolutely raise children. And I've seen fathers doing it. I have a good friend of mine who I adore, who is a father, and he's a single father, and he's an excellent father. And I adore that man. But all I'm saying is, yes, men can definitely support and protect their children. They can nurture their children and everything. But there's still a mother. See, that child knows that there's still a mother. You understand? That child is going to wonder where the heck their mother has been all these years. You don't think that would have psychological long-term effects on a child? The same long-term effects it would have for the father not being available, for the father not being present. So abortion is deeper than just, these women have these privileges and they just take everybody else's rights. No, it's bigger than that. You want to make sure that when you're bringing a child into the world, that at least to the best of your ability and the best of your knowledge, you are able to care for that child financially, you're able to care for that child spiritually and emotionally. And it takes two parents to do that. It takes two parents to successfully do it. I'm not saying that children can't be raised in a single family household. Clearly, my children have been raised in a single family household after my husband passed away. But it's definitely something that, and I think I did a damn good job at raising them. But would it have been easier if their father was there? Absolutely. Shit, it would have been hellified easier, especially with my son. But, well, with both of them, all of them, my daughters and my sons. But I just think of, them as men and their father as a man. But the point is, children being raised in a two-parent household definitely fare off better and can fare off better than in a single-family household. So you got to think of the long-term effect of children who are raised in single-family households, children whose parents have not been significantly there in their lives, have been absent from their lives. You got to think of how this has affected children, okay? And why abortion should be an option. I'm not saying that, it's right to take away the rights of fathers and all this other stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But I think it's a bigger and deeper picture than just taking away the rights of the father. Like I said, what happens to that child 18 or 20 years after that child is born? What happens when, that child wants to now develop a relationship with emotionally available mother, or with, or vice versa. I really think that it's important to think about things like that. Even though that is not the end all of every reason why abortions take place. Also, I wanted to bring up abortions taking place because of illness. So times have come by where, technology has improved, where now you can see certain illnesses that come before a child is born. You can now see if a child is going to have, for instance, Down syndrome, or you can see if having this child is going to affect this child in some kind of way long term. If this child is going to have some type of terminal illness, or if this illness, or if the parent is going to develop a terminal illness behind the pregnancy. That happens to people, okay? And that is another reason why people have abortions. And again, fuck what the CDC says about that, because they don't know what they're talking about. And again, if you're not going to believe the CDC and the census on what they say about how many black people are in the world and how many black people are in the country, then how are you going to then turn around and believe the CDC and what they say about S abuse and about abortion? Like, you can't pick and choose. They either tell the truth about everything or they lie. It's one or the other. Women have abortions for various reasons. And it's not always because, again, Boom Quisha don't like her baby dad. That's not always the reason. That's probably mostly not the reason. Because Boom Quisha will still have that baby, even if she don't like her baby dad. But if Boom Quisha got raped, do you think it's okay for Boom Quisha to have this baby? How is the baby going to turn out later? The baby grows up into a child and into a teenager and into an adult. And it don't even be that long. For those of you who have 5-year-olds and 8-year-olds and don't have 20-year-olds, they don't be 5 and 8 that long, okay? They really don't. You look up one day and your child is 25. I'm just letting you know. So, that's just what I wanted to say about the Roe versus Wade situation. Again, I really think that it's important that men in particular are a little more sensitive to this, and stop giving your opinion on something that doesn't affect you. Even if you think it affects you because you got her pregnant and you should be able to raise the baby. You want to raise a baby with an unemotionally available mother, and then raise this child and think that you're going to make this child's life perfect because you are the father. That's not how this works. It's the same thing as the mother. The same way you want to say a mother should not be out here collecting welfare and thinking that welfare and Section 8 can replace a good father. It's the same thing as a father. You cannot replace, your love and your attention with the love and affection of a mother. And that's all I'm saying. It's the same thing. So shout out to you guys for being in the building. I see there's a few of y'all in here, also well as some comments. Good morning, Clark. Let me see your transcript, Josephine. I appreciate you guys coming in. I'm going to go ahead and not read you guys' comments, though, because I just happen to be at a light, so I can look real quick. But I am driving, so I want to stay focused on the road. But let's talk about Al Lanier now, okay, because I find it funny, and shout out to the individual, one of my loungers, who sent me an email regarding this. From what I understand, Al has now come out and said that he is on the verge of homelessness, okay? Now, I had to think about it for a good hour after I woke up this morning. I thought about it for an hour because you know me, y'all know me. I'm a very empathetic individual. I usually show quite a bit of empathy to people, even if I don't like them, even if I dislike them in some kind of way. I've done that with many people in the sector, Stargate and, others, even though I really still don't like that bitch. But, I still show empathy towards her, especially when it comes to, not having her father and different things like that. That did bother me. So, yeah, I wanted to show some empathy to her for that. But I had to think about this Al situation because I wanted to show empathy to him for this. Because again, nobody deserves to be homeless. Nobody should be in a situation like that, especially considering Hawaii and how rich of a land the white people have made that, or the invasion of Hawaii and the Polynesian people have, the invasion of that, and how that has been made, into the land that it is. It's a capitalist place. It's definitely not a place that's intended for people to prosper, except for the rich white. Um, yeah, and it's unfortunate what has happened to those islands. But what I will say is he can get out of Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be one thing. I want to give Al some advice. I definitely think you need to move out of Hawaii. You need to consider moving back to the mainland. That would be one thing. Number two, penny pension is important. I'm not sure if that's something that you're doing already, but penny pension is very important. Shout out to Carrie Ann. She did a video the other day on savings, and I actually follow a lot of those practices. Um, so I really appreciated her for that. And even though she's not a banker, you don't have to be a banker to understand banking. And savings is very important. Having savings in various places is also very important. So having multiple accounts at different banks is important. I do not bank at the bank I work at. That's funny. I have no accounts there at all. Okay, but I do have accounts at other banks, several banks, maybe probably about four. And then I also have credit cards with different companies. Okay, I have two credit cards, and two of them are they're not with the same company. I have money spread out in different banks. So that's very important. And penny pinching is also very important. So you can do various things to penny pinch. Do you really need that extra coffee? Can you just go buy a package of coffee at the store and then make your own coffee every day? That could be ways to pinch pennies. Okay. Do you have to go through that drive-through and get that milkshake, or can you get the ingredients and make that stuff at home? Like, it might not be as cool, it might not be as convenient, but you know what? At the end, it's going to save you a hell of a lot of money at the end of the year. So again, yes, those are things that you can do as well. Um, Look into some housing, some cheaper housing. I'm not sure how old you are, Al, but you might want to look into some senior housing or some cheaper housing for yourself, especially in early retirement or in retirement. So I'm assuming you're in your 50s or 60s. You can look into 55 and older housing, okay, and see if there's something there, that you can benefit from. I don't know how nice it would be in Hawaii, but there are some really nice senior living places on the mainland in various cities and in various towns. So you may want to consider that. I think that would be a great idea. Um, but the biggest thing I think I want to give you advice on is your attitude, sir. Okay? Because attitude goes a long motherfucking way in life. I mean, real shit. Now, um, I'm not expecting you to be perfect or to change exactly who you are and all this other stuff. I'm not saying you got to do that. But what I am saying is that you have spent quite a bit of time in this sector being very condescending, extremely disrespectful, on the verge of racist, okay? And now you're telling us this sob story about you possibly, being on the verge of homelessness. I mean, I really do feel sorry for you. I don't want to see nobody homeless. I don't want to see nobody lose, like that. But I got a big problem with you sharing that story with us after you have been so extra disrespectful to the people of this community and extra disrespectful and condescending to the people in this sector. You've spent a lot of time doing that. So, attitude goes a long way. What I did when I was younger, and this was something else Carrie Ann was talking about, it wasn't the same exact thing, but it was pretty similar. I spent a great deal of time sowing seeds when I was younger. It was a lot of time when I would give stuff away. I would go to the grocery store, for instance, and I would purchase food for the house. And then I would also pick up all kinds of other stuff, groceries and different paper towels and just things that I didn't usually need or have, or things I didn't usually need, or things we didn't usually use. I would just pick up all kinds of stuff and have it in the cart too, buy all that, and then at some point during the month or some point during the year, somebody I would run across would need something, okay, and I would give this stuff away. Like I always had stuff to give, always had stuff to give. Having a large family, I was always able to give away clothes, always able to give away good sneakers, good, you know what I'm saying? Like all kinds of stuff. I always had something to give away. And the beauty of sowing seed in your younger years is you'll reap the benefits of those years later. So I know, I don't know if some people even believe in that, but I definitely believe in sowing seed and putting seed out into the earth. Giving back to the community, giving back to the people, giving back to the earth, keeping the earth clean and different things like that, because those will bring prosperity to you later in life, and even at that particular time. So a lot of seed that I sowed, I didn't do it in the spirit. I just did it. You understand what I'm saying? Like I did it without consciously doing it. And I reap the benefits of those things now. Like just not that I'm really tooting my horn, but I know for a fact that giving back and doing the things that I've always done has definitely forced or caused prosperity in the lives of my kids and prosperity in my life as well. And all of my children are doing well, every single one of them, and it's a blessing. But I always taught them to give, and I always gave, even when I was lacking. There was times when I was lacking. My mom used to get mad at me for that, but there was times when I was lacking something, or at least it appeared to be lacking, because nothing is ever lacking, but it appeared to be lacking. And I would just start throwing stuff out, start giving stuff away to people. And sure enough, whatever I thought I was lacking came through, or whatever I thought wasn't there popped up every single time. It never failed. So that is another lesson I would teach you, Al. Start giving away. Start being a part of the community. You understand what I'm saying? Stop being above people and like you're better than people. Because that same community and the same earth will take care of you. And that's all it is. See, nothing is ever lacking. Nothing is ever not abundant. It's always abundant. If you speak it and you live it. But you got to believe that, and you got to put that foot forward. But I don't know how many people would be willing to sow back into you because of how you've been, because of how you've treated people, how you've acted. So your attitude and your personality may determine just how far you go, and that's fact. That's fact. So I'm going to say all that without being disrespectful to you, because clearly you're in a bad place. But there are things that you can do spiritually and physically to get yourself out of this. And you definitely need to put some prosperity spells out there. And one of them would be, like I said, to start giving back to people. Go to a homeless shelter and just feed the people for an hour. Go to the beach. You live in Hawaii. Go to the beach. Take a loaf of bread. Take an old loaf of bread and just go ahead and toss some bread out to the birds. These are things that will bring prosperity to you. And just start sowing. Keep sowing. Keep sowing. And you'll see the results. You'll see the results of that. The church tries to tell you that too. They tell you to sow seed, but they tell you to sow your seed into the church, and then you'll be blessed. That's not the case. You're supposed to sow your seed into wherever the need is. So if the church is where the need is, then sow your seed into the church. If the homeless shelter is where the need is, then sow your seed into that. Seed doesn't always have to be money. It could be your actually giving your services. It could be your time. It could be a smile. It could be a hello. On Mother's Day, Mother's Day, I'm planning on doing this Mother's Day if I can get back on time. Um, Not only am I cooking for my family, which I always do on Mother's Day, even though I know they're supposed to cook for me. No, I cook for them. I bless them on Mother's Day. Um, but on so not only am I going to do that, but on Mother's Day, my social club and we're getting together. We're going to get some little stuff, and we're going to go to a homeless shelter, a women's shelter, women and children, and we're going to give away some supplies to them. Okay, that's just something we just do. Um, in the winter months, we do a hat, scarf, and glove giveaway. We give away food all year long, just help feed the homeless in different ways. We're about to do another one. In July, we're giving away book bags. So we're buying 4 cases of book bags, and we're going to give those away and give school supplies away. These are things that help support the community, help other people who are less fortunate, who really need it. You know how much school supplies cost for large families, and like these are things that really are needed by people. So sow your seed into what is needed, and then get the results back of good seed being sown. Get the results back of good people and good seed being sown. And I just wanted to put that out there. Like I said, I don't really care for Al. I don't like him at all too much. As a matter of fact, I don't like him at all. I've never let him on my panel. I've never let him on my show because of how disrespectful he is and how condescending he is and how he seems to be pretty racist acting, if you ask me. But, that's just how I feel about it. And that's where I stand. I am going to end the show. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I do want to kind of check your comments. I'm about to come up to a light now. I think everybody, I said hi to y'all. Hey, Pixie Longjot, I appreciate you being in. Hey, sometimes I appreciate you coming in. Yep, making your coffee right now, girl. That's right. See, I started doing that too. I used to go and go to get my coffee, because it's fancy and because, you look good. But nah, baby. Like, I'm going to save this, this $5. I'm going to save this $4, daily for coffee. When I could just go and buy some and perk my own coffee at home and it tastes better because I made it, Like, really. These are little things you can do to penny pinch, It might sound like it's not a big deal. $5 is not a big deal and different things. It's not. But, $5 is a big deal added up 20 times, over a period of a day. And how much money you could save by not spending that $5 here, $5 there, $5 for lunch, $5 for breakfast, $5, you know what I mean? All this stuff. With stuff you gotta purchase, you gotta buy gas, you gotta buy, groceries and stuff like that. But you gotta make the best of your money. So if you make the best of your money by purchasing the groceries, and then cooking stuff at home and making stuff at home, it makes life better. It definitely makes life better. So, what's up, brother of a certain age? You said, hold on. You said, so true, Clark. Okay, I'm not going to read these. I'm going to back them later. Hey, Antonio, I appreciate you being in. You said, well, the reason people donate to the homeless shelter is for the people that need to stay there. So he needs to go stay on the shelter and get on his feet. I agree. I think that would be a good idea. Or go to a senior living facility or something like that. I definitely think that would be a great idea for him. Swallowing his pride is another thing he might need to do. And getting off the internet is another thing he might need to do. He might need to stop worrying about what we're doing over here because we're not homeless. We're not looking for a place. You know what I mean? Like, you are in this situation, sir. So he might want to get that type of shit together and, and start just doing better, and improving his own life. So nobody's going to do that for him but him. So But anyway, I am going to end the show. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for the morning show. But yeah, that's about all I had to say about Al, and that's all I had to say about the Roe versus Wade situation. Again, Al, pull your mental together. You got to stop being so condescending because people may be willing to work with you if you're not so disrespectful. Also, start sowing some prosperity seeds out here. Give away, some stuff. Start giving away some things, and start feeding the homeless. Start feeding, um, the birds. Taking care of the earth. Go clean up somebody's neighborhood. Do something like that. Those are all prosperity seeds. Okay, prosperity spells. All right, and I will talk to you guys later. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. And peace, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys again.